Good morning, everyone. I'm Liz Isabella, Press Secretary for Governor Martinez today. I'd like to welcome you to the launch of the NACFR project. NACFR is the National Association for Campaign Finance Reform. It is a non-partisan project initiated by a group of artists, activists, and concerned citizens who are eager to fulfill their civic duty by supporting and encouraging all key politicians, governors, members of Congress in their quest for fiscal transparency. We have convened at the Roundhouse here today in Santa Fe, New Mexico to lend a helping hand to Governor Susana Martinez and assist her in following through with her repeated campaign finance promises of financial transparency in the New Mexico state government. We are honored to have Governor Martinez here with us today. Susana Martinez was born in El Paso, Texas, a home state she is proud to continue to maintain financial ties with. She moved to New Mexico in the mid-1980s. Prior to being elected governor, Martinez was district attorney for the 3rd Judicial District of Doña Ana County for 13 years. She has a stellar record as a prosecutor and is a dedicated advocate for children's rights. Susana Martinez is the first female governor of New Mexico, as well as the first Latina governor in the United States. Since taking office, Martinez has prohibited all state agencies from hiring lobbyists, limiting the claim of executive privilege to help promote a more transparent government. She's also created a small business-friendly task force, although we've just learned that the task force consists mostly of large business people and lobbyists from industries that contributed to Martinez's campaign. These are the same people that have been fighting hard to deregulate throughout the state. We would now like to present the governor with her very own NACFR jacket as a true sign of her commitment to fiscal transparency in government. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to New Mexico Governor Susana Martinez.
Oh, hush. Hello.
Governor.
I'm New Mexico State Governor Susana Martinez, and I'm here at the Roundhouse, our state capitol building, to invite my constituents to follow the money. After all, as I stated publicly throughout my campaign, there's a lack of information given to the state as well as to the public about where the money comes from and where it goes. We intend to bring transparency to our governance finances, line item by line item. So I want you all to pay close attention to the policies that I'll work hard to put into place in the next 4 years. To help you follow the money, let's start with where the money that ran my winning campaign came from. As you can see, I'm well supported. I'd like you to meet my pit crew. This is Joe Corporation, who represents the livestock and dairy industries. I received over $226,800 in campaign contributions from these industries. So of course, one of my first orders of business in the first week of my governorship was to try and throw out the regulations intended to control the continuing discharge of dairy waste into the state's water supplies. Who cares about toxic animal waste when those safety measures would cost these industries money? I don't like any regulations that limit the money-making power of industry. Well, I was sued, and sadly the New Mexico State Supreme Court voted against me. But rest assured, I will continue to try and curb those pesky environmental regulations. And with the help of the Democrats who love money over environmental safety, like Senator Phil Griego and Representative Andy Nunes, they've introduced bills that will neuter the entire Water Control Commission, which will open the door for corporations to pollute freely in New Mexico. Okay, now this is Joe Corporation, who represents the oil and gas industries. Look at this! Shame! I received over $807,000 from these folks, a lot of it from Texas. And I want to be sure to live up to their expectations. So not surprisingly, in the first days of my New Mexico leadership, I tried to suppress the publication of the measures which regulate greenhouse gas emissions in our state. Because even though those gases poison people and the environment, I've stated that those safety regulations would somehow financially hurt New Mexico businesses and families. But not to worry, folks. In the first weeks of my reign, I've already fired all 7 of the previous Environmental Improvement Board employees and replaced them with the, quote, environmental people who think like I do and big industry does. Now, here we have Joe Corporation, who stands from donations for the health insurance and pharmaceutical giants.
Drug dealer!
These generous industries. Oh, hush, I'm trying to talk. These generous industries bestowed almost $270,000 on my campaign. It's still too early to see where this may lead me, but I am fighting to do away with New Mexico's medical marijuana program. Now, I know it's been determined the best and tightest run program in the country, which does improve the lives of the sickest of our fellow New Mexicans. But think about it. Shouldn't people pay enormous amounts of money for manufactured prescription drugs instead of getting relief from some God-given free medicinal plant? And this is Joe Corporation, who represents donations to me from conservative policy organizations, from whom I received a whopping $1,343,342. That's right. Allows me more muscle to further the right-wing Karl Rove conservative political agenda, like squashing unions. Look out, New Mexico. Wisconsin might only be the beginning. And of course, that agenda also supports more tax cuts for corporations. Don't they need tax cuts more than the average folk do? And finally, I'd like to give a big shout out to the financial generosity of my out-of-state contributors, of which there were a lot. Why do you think so many wealthy out-of-state folks want to support a governor of such a resource-rich state as New Mexico? Anyway, I'd like to give thanks to just a few off the top of my head. To Foster Freeze from Jackson Hole, Wyoming, for his $200,000. He's a good buddy to Chick Cheney, and he hates all those Muslims. To Wayne Hughes Jr. of California for his $100,000 gift. He's rich from public storage and real estate development, and he loves Karl Rove. And finally, to Bob Perry of Houston, Texas for his fantastic personal contribution of $450,000. You know, not only is he a successful real estate developer, he was a major contributor to the Swift Vote Veterans for Truth campaign. So again, I'm New Mexico Governor Susana Martinez, and I want to thank my many supporters, and I want to thank you, the residents of this beautiful land of enchantment. Remember, I'm supposedly to be working for you. I'll keep pushing for transparency in government, and I want you to hold me to task. So watch me. See where my policies go, and don't forget to compare those policies to the sources of the money that elected me. Will there be a connection? You'll just have to wait and see. Call me at 505-476-2200 and let me know how I'm doing. Bueno!